It might be considered a recession indicator, but whether you like it or not, we are living in a golden age for the horror genre. And for over 15 years now, there's been perhaps no bigger name in the business of crafting on-screen thrills and chills than Blumhouse. Insidious, Sinister, The Purge, Get Out, The Black Phone, Obsession, and the low-budget found-footage flick-turned-hit franchise that started it all, Paranormal Activity. And now, like any good horror franchise must at some point, it's getting something of a reboot, but this time on Broadway, following acclaimed sold-out runs in Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, London, Toronto, and Boston. Directed by Felix Barrett, one of the twisted minds behind the immersive theater hit Sleep No More, the show follows James and Lou, a young married couple who have just moved from Chicago to London for a fresh new start. But as they quickly settle in and more weird stuff starts happening in their house, they soon realize that they cannot escape the ghosts of their haunted past. Something you might not know about me is that I love scary movies. I feel like there's just something so primal about being in a crowded theater, gripping to each other's armrests in fear, and screaming at the exact same moments. And horror and thriller plays are absolutely nothing new on Broadway. I mean, if you want past examples, just take a look at Ira Levin's Death Trap, Martin McDonagh's The Pillow Man, and a couple seasons back, we had Grey House by Levi Holloway, who coincidentally is the same writer for this show. But to be honest, no matter how many horror movies I've watched in the past, I don't think any of them could have prepared me for this show right here at all. In fact, to say that this is the scariest show Broadway has ever seen is kind of underselling it, because this is not only the scariest piece of live theater I've ever seen, it is also the scariest piece of any horror I've ever seen, and honestly one of the best things I've seen all year. I loved this. Like I said earlier, this is from the same writer that did Grey House, Levi Holloway, and as much as I enjoyed that play, I don't think it really got to that level of fear that it was trying to get to. But Holloway really outdoes himself here, and it not only got to the level of fear that Grey House wanted to get to, it surpasses it in the best possible way. And I think much of that is due to his collaboration with director Felix Barrett, who, in spite of his immersive theater directing background, offers a different kind of immersive in a typical proscenium setting. The performances from this four-person cast are really phenomenal, especially from Cher Alvarez and Travis A. Knight as our main couple. Their chemistry is just incredible. But I think the real reason to see this show are for mainly the creative elements, especially the sound design by Gareth Fry, the lighting design by Anna Watson, the scenic design by Fly Davis, and the illusion designs, especially by Chris Fisher. And when these elements combine together, they truly make for some really inventive and terrifying sequences that if you were to do this on camera, it just wouldn't have that same effect. Without giving too many details away, there is one sequence in particular involving a robe. And you know what? I'm just gonna leave it at that because you really have to experience it for yourself. I was just like shrill up in a fetal position, just like, Mama. And at times, the show can get very overstimulating. It gets very dark and loud multiple times throughout. As someone who doesn't typically get overstimulated, I do want to give a very special shout out to the entire staff of the August Wilson Theater, especially one usher in particular, Meg. Because after that scene with the robe, I needed to seek out the nearest usher, and she was there, and she was so accommodating. She gave me earplugs and this really cute fidget right here. If it wasn't for her, as well as some of her other staff members, I don't think I would have made it through this whole show. So Meg, if you're watching this, hi, and thank you so, so much. Last thing I'll touch on is this is the kind of show you definitely want to sit in the very, very center orchestra for. Even though the set is the inside of a house comprising of 4 rooms, there is action pretty much happening in every square inch of it. Let me be clear, I don't endorse splurging on a very high-priced ticket, but in this case, if it's center orchestra, I highly suggest you get it. All in all, if you are a horror fan looking for real, live, scary thrills, then this is definitely the show for you. Paranormal Activity is currently in previews at the August Wilson Theater with an opening night schedule for this Tuesday, August 25th, and is currently running for a 20-week only limited engagement through January 3rd, so get your tickets now, but I would highly suggest doing it before the end of October because come Halloween, I expect this to be a very hot ticket, and the prices by then are only going to skyrocket.